welcome. We are back again with our spotlight on G20. On the show today, stand by for an exclusive conversation with the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Girish Chandra Murmu, on the first meeting of the Supreme Audit Institutions of G20 countries in Guwahati. CI20 aims to empower the Supreme Audit Institutions of the G20 countries to be ready for future challenges in a fast-changing world. Also on the show today, takeaways from the second and final day of the National Youth Conclave under Youth 20 in New Delhi and preparations ahead of the second Education Working Group meeting in Amritsar city of Punjab. I'm Munmun Bhattacharya. First up, the top stories. Deliberations conclude at the first CI20 or Supreme Audit Institutions 20 meeting in Guwahati. Comptroller and Auditor General of India Girish Chandra Murmu says the functioning of Supreme Audit Institutions does not have to be limited to oversight responsibilities and extends to providing guidance to governments on improving the functioning of public institutions. Two-day National Youth Conclave, India's biggest youth summit, concludes at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. Youth from all over the country, national leaders, experts and innovators participated in the conclave. Quiz competition and mayor speech competition organized on urban governance. India's successful urbanization models also showcased. Amritsar, the Golden City, gears up to host the second Education Working Group meeting and a seminar on strengthening collaboration in research and innovation from the 15th to the 17th of March. Concluding the deliberations of CI20 today, CAG of India Girish Chandra Murmu said that the function of Supreme Audit Institutions goes beyond fulfilling its oversight responsibilities and extends to providing guidance to governments on improving the running of public institutions. He reminded the representatives of Supreme Audit Institutions of G20 countries to respect the unique challenges that each country faces and hence their varying pace of achieving sustainable development goals across the globe. He said, like India, governments around the world are preparing their own blueprint for ocean governance, even as they learn from the shared experiences of other countries. Hence, realistic limits must be set while planning the goals of CI20 and building auditing models and toolkits. He asserted that in order to thrive in this new world and meet challenges that the pressing frontier areas pose, CIs need to constantly research, innovate and upgrade their skills. He said, and I quote, "I believe that a good knowledge system is one that is widely replicable, draws upon collective wisdom and is voluntarily shared." He thanked the Indonesian representative Akon Resmi Badan Pemerksa for being the founding Supreme Audit Institution of CI20. At the Guwahati meeting, Indonesia called for a structured approach to audit the blue economy and for integration with SDGs. CI India has set the tone for sharing experiences on blue economy with its performance audit on conservation of coastal ecosystems using novel toolkits. The Accounts Chamber of Russian Federation spoke of digital transformation in public administration while cautioning about the ecological, social and technological challenges that lie ahead. And joining us now is Girish Chandra Murmu, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Mr. Murmu, welcome to India at G20. The first CI meeting of the G20 had two focus areas, blue economy and responsible AI. Why were these two focus areas identified?
Blue economy and responsible AI are two emerging areas where we thought these are very important to be discussed at a forum like CI20 under the aegis of G20. Because blue economy covers almost a very large area of economy. It contributes to the nation's GDP. It has many sectors from the fisheries to minerals to transportation to even agriculture. So it has got lot of contribution. CI20 is a good forum to have some kind of an exchange of knowledge, collaboration among the SAI groups and get the experience and expertise on auditing of these areas. Similarly, responsible AI is also very important. Now almost every nation has adopted ICTs, information technology, and all the emerging technology like artificial intelligence. There are certain issues how to audit artificial intelligence, the application itself, and also how to adapt artificial intelligence by the size in auditing are also very crucial to discuss. That's why we chose these two subjects.
Fair enough. Artificial intelligence is an emerging sector that has its strengths, but this sector has also raised concerns around privacy, bias, transparency and fairness. What challenges do they pose to an auditor?
Artificial intelligence is an version which is above machine learning, deep learning. It almost mimics the human brains. So if the data is not very secure, and if it is not very clear, and if it is there is ethical issues are there, our data collections if are not properly done, then artificial intelligence can manipulate, modify, and give certain results which may not be according to the expected line or what is desired line. So a lot of responsibility is involved in that, including the individual privacy, security, and also the issues of liabilities. So in the governance, certain clarity has to be there, because its sustainability, transparency also is required. That's why we thought of this subject, that it is an boon, but at the same time it has certain downside also. So we thought of discussing on these issues and get some kind of insight into these things and what the other SAI nations have done. So we are trying to find out and exchange the expertise on that, so that we can also gain from these kind of experiences.
So there are upsides but downsides too. Is there plenty of scope and benefits of adopting AI capabilities in audit? Tell us about that.
Definitely, because all the supreme audit institutions across the globe, they are collecting huge data, the financial data for the accounting and auditing, also the compliance data and performance audit. They collect lot of information and data. To process these things, you need this kind of emerging technologies. So the big data analytics are required. Also, certain kind of retrieval combination and audit result, what you look for, the artificial intelligence can help you in this regard. So manually it may not be possible to go through all the details and find out the real evidence, but by using this kind of technology it becomes easier, and that is also simplifies the process.
Definitely, technology has its own benefits. International Center for Environment, Audit and Sustainable Development, ICED at Jaipur, which serves as a global training facility, has been established as a center of excellence for blue economy. You've said that supreme audit institutions must ensure that the journey of exploring oceanic resources does not follow the same path as exploitation of land followed. Will that be one of the key guiding principles for the Center of Excellence?
See, a lot of sectors are involved, a lot of ministries are involved in the blue economy. Blue economy has not been comprehensively defined, but one can see that it has vast potential and it contributes to the GDP and ultimately the employment and the well-being of the people. So sustainable development of the ocean resources or the blue economy is required. So a lot of research work will be required. So the Center of Excellence was created has been created now. So to see that kind of expertise and kind of research work can take place. The ISAID has been carrying out a lot of training programs, particularly of sustainable development goals on environment auditing kind of a thing. But we want that it should be further developed into a center of excellence so that we can have an benefit of the different research and the other experts contribution to this. Whatever from the in-house sources are there and resources are there that can be augmented by this kind of center. We can have a global outreach and have some kind of an expertise from other countries and their experiences and the kind of scientific works have been done in these fields on maybe the energy, maybe the wind energy, the thermal energy, or the exploitation of the mineral resources, fisheries, or tackling the global warming, including the pollution issues and other issues involved in the blue economy. So we thought of creating this kind of center of excellence along with the training facility.
Fair enough. But now deliberations of the first G20 meeting have concluded. Tell us about the outcomes of the meeting.
The SAI members have presented their experiences and they are expertise in both the blue economy and artificial intelligence, how the different challenges have been brought out and what kind of methodology they are adopting and what kind of risk they perceive. All these have been discussed. And SAI being a cooperative and collaborative institution, particularly of the G20s, we are very, very confident that we will come out some kind of a consensus in these issues so that we can have some kind of an agenda setting for ourselves and try to implement and fulfill in coming days.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Murmu, for speaking to us on India at G20. That was an exclusive conversation with Girish Chandra Murmu, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, on the first meeting of the Supreme Audit Institutions of G20 nations that has just concluded in terms of deliberations in Guwahati. Let's move on now. Today, National Youth Conclave, India's biggest youth summit, concluded at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. Youth from all over the country, national leaders, experts and innovators participated in the conclave. A quiz competition and also a mayor speech competition were organized on urban governance in order to encourage participation of youth in futuristic areas of governance. India's successful urbanization models were also showcased. Here's more.
The two-day National Youth Conclave, India's biggest youth summit, concluded at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. Youth from all over the country, national leaders, experts and innovators participated in the conclave organized by the National Institute of Urban Affairs with support from the Smart Cities mission of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. They put forth their views on urbanization and challenges in developing smart cities.
This entire conclave that was organized by the government along with the other non-so-profit organizations, I guess this was one of the greatest opportunity that the youth of the country would have ever got, especially at a time when India is hosting the G20 presidency. And I believe we got to know this big message that small changes that the youth can make in their own sphere can actually create a larger impact in the coming years.
A Prajatantra quiz competition on urban governance was held on the second and final day of the conclave. The quiz questions covered 6 themes: municipal finance, citizen participation, e-governance, climate change, constitution, and urban governance. The theme of urban governance is crucial in the light of the fact that India is presently 35% urban and expected to be 53% urban by 2047. The future of urbanization and India's prosperity thus hinges on how well we manage urbanization process and whether it leads to a sprawling of cities or well-organized cities. Young students participated at the mayor's speech competition held to encourage and motivate them in taking more interest in urban governance. The session was attended by mayors from different parts of India. Successful urbanization models were also showcased, such as the project of smart governance using geospatial technology in Vadodara that demonstrates how geospatial technology is revolutionizing governance and consequently taking the city to the next level of smartness. A presentation was made on citizen-centric project Socially Smart Bhubaneswar by IIT Kharagpur. It threw light on the city's innovation and ideas on making it a livable and healthy place. The project transformed the city into a socially smart city by focusing on equality, safety and prosperity in an inclusive manner. Days after the Y20 consultation meeting was held at the Symbiosis International University in Pune, track chair of Youth 20 Devansh Shah shared his experience of participating in it.
This experience or this Y20 summit in particular was very special for me, being an alumnus of this beautiful university, and it's sort of like coming back home. So that made it even more special for me. But apart from that, we had some wonderful discussions today, and even the ideas and the questions that we got from the students were really insightful, pinpointed, and they really have the potential to make some impact on the global scale. So very happy with the summit that happened here today.
Meanwhile, in London, Y20 India representative Falit Sijaria discussed the negotiation process, bilateral partnership and youth engagement process in the UK with respect to India's G20 presidency, with Sophie Daoud, CEO of the Future Leaders Network, the official Y20 organizing committee of the United Kingdom. This comes on the back of a Y20 Chaupal on climate change and disaster mitigation that concluded on Monday amidst the serenity of Ma Ganga in Varanasi. As part of the more than 170 youth outreach programs of Youth 20, Brahma Kumaris, a value-based educational institution, had organized a program and panel discussion on health, well-being and sports, agenda for youth in Kurukshetra on Sunday, where more than 250 youth participated. Y20 programs under India's G20 presidency thus continue to engage youth from across India on the U20 and Y20 priority areas, with the aim of mainstreaming their voices in G20 and fostering bright leaders of tomorrow. With Bureau Inputs, Dheeraj Kumar's report from Delhi for DD India.
Underlining the need to conserve cities and improving urban governance, India's G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kant pointed towards a significant contribution of cities to India's GDP. He was speaking on the concluding day of the National Youth Conclave in New Delhi. Take a listen.
Urbanization will play a very critical and significant role because cities account for almost 80% of the global GDP. They account for all the innovation, all the discoveries, all the patents. They account for all the growth and progress which we see in the world. Cities are drivers of prosperity. They are the drivers of job creation. But cities also account for pollution. They account for carbonization. And therefore, it's important to create sustainable cities of tomorrow.
Amritsar, the Golden City, is gearing up to host the second Education Working Group meeting and a seminar on strengthening collaboration in research and innovation from the 15th to the 17th of March. DD India correspondent Amritpal Singh reports from Amritsar.
The three-day meeting of the Education Working Group of G20 will begin in Amritsar city of Punjab on Wednesday. Delegates from 28 G20 member countries, guest countries and invited organizations like the OECD, UNESCO and UNICEF have started arriving in the holy city to participate in the second meeting of the working group. India, under its G20 presidency, has identified 4 priority areas for the Education Working Group.
India in this under its presidency has 4 priority areas. One is foundational literacy and numeracy. As you would know, under the National Education Program, that is a priority of the country. And we already have a major program called Nipun Bharat, which tries to ensure foundational literacy and numeracy in class 3 in the next 3 years. Now, that is one priority which we would like to see, that there is a consensus amongst the community of nations to see that whether we can work on that goal on the rest of the G20 members also. The second item is ensuring that if the first has to be done, how do you take forth tech-enabled learning to see that access and equity is ensured by ensuring use of technology. So how do you ensure that common platforms which have already been invested can be made available at a reasonable cost with certain tweaking for a nation. The third one is the topic that we discussed today, is on research and collaboration. How do you ensure that academic institutions of G20 countries and inviting countries collaborate together to ensure that you get better research outcomes through this richer collaboration for achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. And the fourth item that we are focusing on is on future of work, a very topical topic. How do you strategize a work plan to see that our academic institutions and faculty are aligned to see that how the future of work is changing and how we prepare ourselves to ensure that our students and our children are aligned to what the market and the society needs in this journey.
Day 1 will see the working group deliberate upon strengthening research and promoting innovation through richer collaboration. Discussions will take place at Khalsa College, Amritsar, with collaborative inputs from prominent higher education institutions such as Indian Institute of Sciences, Bengaluru, Indian Institute of Management, Amritsar, and Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. A multimedia exhibition of disruptive technologies and innovations will also be organized on the sidelines of the seminar. It will present the best practices in research, innovation, collaboration, and partnership. There will be more than 90 stalls at the exhibition, and these stalls will encompass startups and technologies from India and G20 member nations to get a feel of the global scenario of innovations for the betterment of humankind. UAE, China, Saudi Arabia, National Skill Development Corporation, NCRT, National Book Trust, Indian Knowledge Systems Division, and several startup initiatives will participate in the exhibition. The exhibition will also be open to local institutions, students, academicians, and researchers, and has generated a lot of excitement in local students.
NCC Cadet in NCC, and we NCC Cadets are preparing for this G20 meeting. And I first of all thank Mr. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for giving us this opportunity to prepare, and we are doing piloting, guard and other drill activities to receive the dignitaries and guests. And I think I'm feeling very proud to be an NCC Cadet and to get this opportunity.
I am studying in IIT Ropar, doing a PhD in English. So this is a great opportunity for us to host the G20 summit. Everybody from the world is coming, and we are working day in and day night, but we are not exhausted. We are so excited to meet everybody. We are doing exhibition, we are conducting seminar, interesting talk in education. So being from IIT, being a part of education committee is so exciting to us.
On the final day of the meeting, the delegates will be taken to Golden Temple, one of the most prominent spiritual sites in the country.
Guru Ki Nagari, as the holy city of Amritsar is called, is all geared up to host the second Education Working Group meeting. This working group tries to shape the contours of an education agenda which is more inclusive, tech-enabled, and tries to promote capacity building in both academics and research. With my colleague Shishu Sharma and cameraman Sanjeev Kumar, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Amritsar.
So now you know that the second Education Working Group meeting begins tomorrow in Amritsar city of Punjab. We leave you with these visuals that will give you a taste of Punjab. Take a look. Namaskar.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together. to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
मिठाई तो हमारे जमाने में होती थी।
हाँ तो जाइए ना अपने जमाने में।
रोमांस तो हमारे जमाने में होता था।
पेमेंट भी उसी जमाने का है। अरे भैया डिजिटल पेमेंट करना सीखे नए जमाने में। इजी सेफ एंड फास्ट है। हमने तो इनको डिजिटल पेमेंट करना सिखा दिया। आपने ये सेल्फी लेते हैं, ये हमारे जमाने का है। आरबीआई कहता है कि
डिजिटल पेमेंट अपनाओ,
औरों को भी सिखाओ।
Anil ji, what kind of a message would you give to those people watching the journey today? Because there are a lot of people who are professionals who absolutely hesitate entering public life.
I feel that even if you are a professional, you can contribute to the politics directly or indirectly. In parliament also, I have seen the professionals, the lawyers, the engineers, the doctors, they are contributing more. For the overall development of the country, we need that come from every field.
सर 50,000 एडवांस। पर इतना कैश तो हम नहीं लाए।
और आज बैंक भी बंद है। इलाज है डिजिटल पेमेंट का आसान सा डोज। लेकिन अरे घबराइए मत, सावधानी के साथ करेंगे तो कोई साइड इफेक्ट भी नहीं होगा। फोन लाइए मुझे, यहाँ फोन लगाइए। डिजिटल पेमेंट से लेन देन हो सकता है, आसान, सुरक्षित और तेज। मैंने तो इन्हें डिजिटल पेमेंट सिखा दिया है। आपने, क्योंकि आरबीआई कहता है कि
डिजिटल पेमेंट अपनाओ,
औरों को भी सिखाओ।
Friends, good to see you again on In Conversation. Today we are meeting Kabir Bedi, the man who made a mark with his acting skills, not just in Indian cinema, but also made a career in Hollywood where he was a sensation. And of course, he was a superhero in Europe.
दुश्मनी को खत्म करने का एक और भी तरीका है रणधीर। दुश्मन को खत्म कर दो।
मीरा कहाँ है?
वो क्या है ना काली, मीरा बहुत प्यार करती है तुझसे। यहाँ होती तो तुझे और तेरे बाप को मरते देख नहीं पाती।
Are still at large.
He has abducted my